This is what they didn't tell you. This is what they didn't say. This is what they didn't tell you. But from my experience, it'll be okay. Ba-do-do-do.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to What They Didn't Tell You, a podcast with me, Nicole Chan. And this week is a very, very special episode as I'm filming this for YouTube as well. So hello, if you're watching. I will also leave a link if you want to see the visual side of things. But also I have a special guest. Ooh. As you can see, Katy Knight, my friend, actor, student. Anything you want to say, Katy, about yourself?
Hello. Currently in my final year doing my final show.
Woo!
Woo!
So this week, Katy is my first ever guest on the podcast. And so this is very, very special. We are going to talk to you guys about the foundation courses at drama school.
Where we met.
Yeah, this is where me and Katy actually met about, was it 5.5 years ago?
5.5 years.
Oh my gosh. We actually have quite similar journeys as well, because did you do sixth form?
Yeah, I did sixth form. Yeah, part of my high school.
Yeah, so we did sixth form, then went on to a foundation course, did a gap year or two, and then went to Drama St Mary's. So it's very weird.
It is good. I think one of the main reasons I went is because obviously I knew you were already there in the year above kind of thing.
And we kind of followed another friend of ours,
another person who'd already done it. So yeah, but I'm the last year of people following in, me and a few others.
So I have got a bunch of questions that you can answer and we both can answer, just so that you guys know what our experience was like at drama school when we were 18. We were 18, yeah.
Ooh, babies.
We were absolute babies. Number one question is, what made you apply for the foundation course?
Oh, see, because I know some people auditioned for the main course and then got the foundation. I auditioned for foundation.
And that's why I thought this would be a good question, especially since I was one of those people who applied for the 3-year course, whereas you actually wanted to do the foundation course.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think not everywhere offered foundation courses. Like a lot of the other places I auditioned for didn't do a foundation. So I was like, well, I'll just do the main 3-year one. But then with this one, I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't actually know what I'm doing. So I felt really out of depth. I mean, my drama department at school was fine, but like it was very academic based. So everyone was like, let's go to uni. And so I was like, if I go to drama school, I'm not going to know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm doing. So for me, when I saw there was a foundation on offer, I was like, okay, I'll go for that. If they think I'm too overprepared for some reason, I absolutely smash out the park. I'm sure they'd offer me a place on the full 3-year course. But obviously, that didn't happen.
It's probably good to mention that we actually went to ALRA South, so the Academy of Live and Recorded Arts, but the Clapham version, the Clapham one.
Yeah, Clapham base.
Yeah, the one based in Clapham in London. And I auditioned for the 3-year courses at all the drama schools I applied for, as well as just ticking the box for all the other courses that sounded good to me. So I know that I ticked foundation a lot for different ones, just to be like, hey, if you don't want me for this one, then put me in something else,
please.
Because I just wanted experience at that time, because then at least I would have been training in the field that I want to be in, and it's like another step towards my goal or my career. Yeah,
I'm definitely glad I did a foundation, especially because obviously the pandemic interrupted our 3-year courses. I think if we hadn't done a foundation, I would feel like I still don't know what I'm doing. because I mean there's such a big gap in like being able to be in person that I think we're really lucky we had that extra year to train.
Yeah, definitely. That moves us on to, what did you expect from the course? And then the other part would be, what actually did you take away from the course? So yeah, what did you expect, or what did we expect?
I don't think I expected as much breathing stuff as he did. I don't know. I think it's something I always wanted to do, and I was just willing to go along with it. I don't really know if I had an idea. I don't think I thought it was going to be as, we did a lot of stuff, especially towards the end, obviously to help us get into like a 3-year course. And I don't think I expected that, but obviously that helped me with general acting anyway. Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, that's a good way to approach things, I think, because going with the flow sometimes is what you need to do, and just be open to a lot of different things, especially since at drama school a lot of things that we do is so random and weird, and constantly question what is actually happening.
Yeah, it's always trust the process. I think if you do go in with an idea, you're like, it's got to be like this, and as soon as you start diverting from it, which you always end up doing, then you're like, oh, I'm not getting what I want, but actually maybe you are, it's just not in the way you expected it.
Definitely. And I think it actually took a slightly longer to absorb everything as well.
Yeah, when I look back at like some things we were doing, I didn't quite get, but by the end I was like, because I think they'll change the, like, what's going to happen in the class depending on how everyone's feeling. Because if everyone's coming in and you've got this lesson lined up and it's not going to fit with how people are in the room, they will change it. And so it might feel a bit disjointed, but actually overall it works by the end of it, because they give you what you need, not what you think you need.
That's so true. What we think we need and what we actually need is so different sometimes.
Yeah,
for sure. I was gonna say, when I got into the foundation course, I think I expected to learn about solely like just acting for some reason, or working on monologues for auditions to get into 3-year courses. And I think that's the main focus for a lot of foundation courses, to get you to the next level, to get you to get into another 3-year course, especially for the one that we went on. And I know I also got into the Oxford School of Drama one, which was 6 months for a slightly more money than the one we actually went on. And that was solely focused on the 3-year course, like applications. Yeah, I didn't expect as much voice work or breathing techniques, which was so much more useful. And I didn't expect like yoga or movement to be as much of a part of it as it actually is. So that was actually quite eye-opening and good to experience, because that's so different to what we experience in sixth form or GCSE drama, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's so hard to tell like what your habits are. I think a lot of the foundation is resetting you to like neutrality, and you just think, oh, I'm pretty neutral. But then I remember doing the exercise where we had to follow each other around the room and copy each other's walks. And when you watch other people, you're like, well, of course this person walks like that, but I'm neutral, kind of thing. But obviously you're not. So I think it's a lot of losing all your habits so that you can just be someone else, and picking out what those are so you become super neutral.
Yeah, super neutral. Yeah, I did find that so interesting, because a lot of the times now I will like, I'm so slouchy. I just get too comfortable. Yeah, and so I always like have to readjust myself, especially for auditions now. I'm like, actually I need to use those techniques that I used on the foundation course and learn to actually like realign myself and actually be as neutral as possible to then get into the character.
Still take warm-ups from foundation that really helped me.
Definitely.
Find that. Yeah.
What actually did you take away from the course, do you think, compared to what you went in with? This is kind of tricky, but not at the same time.
Confidence, definitely. I was definitely more confident in like myself and not caring what other people thought as much. Like not being worried to be the first up on whenever we're doing like an exercise and they go, who wants to go first? I'll be like, yeah, okay, it could go wrong, but whatever, kind of thing. I think that's probably the biggest thing I learned, because then coming into first year, seeing the people around me that hadn't done foundations, and it would be like, who wants to go first? And I'd be like, woo, kind of thing, but nobody else would. And then I realized, oh, actually, I am much more confident. And I've always thought I was a confident person, but getting up and doing exercises that maybe you don't understand or are a bit silly and embarrassing, you don't realize that actually back in foundation, I probably would have just sat back and waited for somebody else to go first so I can see what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I go up. When I got to first year, I was like, I'll do it, whatever.
Yeah, I think confidence is definitely one of the things that we took away from that, especially since now, because it was I say so long ago, because it was quite a while ago. Like we have enough time to like process everything and compare it to what we now know and what we've experienced, because first, second, third year very different. I think the main things I took away is the confidence one for sure, and confidence in yourself, like not just confidence in general, like in yourself and your abilities, because like we said with being neutral and stuff, you only have your body and your instrument is your voice, so you have to be confident that you're okay at being yourself. And then the second one was like how I think you and I are quite similar in the fact that we're very like organized and love the structure and love being responsible for our own like homework, or like doing the work outside and in class, and also turning up on time. And what's the word for that?
Disciplined?
Yeah, I think we really learned the discipline of being an actor, because it's not just about talent, it's also about the hard work that you put into it, and turning up on time is a lot. There's a lot of like, not pressure, but like
showing up on time, being punctual, and respecting other people's time. I think if you're constantly late and there's for no reason other than you couldn't get out of bed or whatever, then it becomes, why are you not respecting my time and like everybody else's time in like a company scenario? So if it was the industry, probably wouldn't be in that job long, because why is your time more important than the rest of the company's time? Obviously, if you've got a valid reason, then you have a valid reason.
Yeah.
But if not, then it just becomes, it looks poor. It's poor professional practice.
Yeah, for sure. I think with that discipline, you learn how to be professional. And there are obviously times when like you have a valid reason and things happen, but as long as you are professional in communicating what's happened and actually telling people in enough notice and things, then it is validated. Also, because we were literally straight out of sixth form, I realized after that year and after my gap year how much learning I still need to do about myself and like growing up a little bit more and being an adult, I think. Because, I feel like those were the years where I felt like I had grown as a person the most, not just because of like training, but I think with moving to London, because I moved to the area whereas you were able to commute.
I commuted,
so it was my first time actually not living by myself, but like living away from family and sharing accommodation with someone else, and having a job as well as training and just balancing everything. I think that was when I learned a lot from that.
Yeah, for sure. Like I didn't get that in the foundation year, but as soon as I moved out for first year of the St. Mary's, you learn a lot. Yeah, and especially, I mean, obviously first year was halls of residence, but then second and third year being in a private rented flat, you have all of that on top of your studies, and that makes you grow up really quick.
Yeah, definitely, because you have to be responsible for like the rent and all the bills and upkeep of the place.
Yeah, fridges breaking, ovens breaking, microwaves breaking, the
Mold.
kitchen door breaking, mold. Yeah.
I actually feel like the mold issue is so everybody goes through it.
And no one talks about it. Everyone acts as if everything is well insulated. It's not. A lot of places, especially for students or lower incomes, are in poor condition. And people act as if, oh well, that's just what you get. No, it shouldn't be. Definitely. Everyone deserves a damp-free and safe home that they shouldn't have to worry about mold, spores and such. Shouldn't have to be buying black mold remover on a frequent basis.
Yeah, it's bad. Especially, I think it was in both places that I lived in had mold issues. But we should talk about that more often, maybe in another podcast. Okay, next question for you is, I had one just before. I didn't write it down though. I literally just had one just talking. Oh yeah. Do you think that the foundation course prepared you for first year or second year or third year the most? It's quite interesting. I don't know.
Probably first. I feel like first year, obviously my first year got cut short after 6 months, but I felt like I was first year I felt like I was reliving foundation year. But
yeah,
I
agree.
Feel like I probably took more away from it, or the work I produced was better because I kind of knew what I was doing, or I felt more confident. Second and third year, I suppose we learned quite a few warm-ups, which I still do, which are helpful for doing shows. Because if you don't get shown different ways of doing a warm-up, then you don't know what works for you. Whereas I think I came to St. Mary's knowing, well, if I need to do a warm-up, I can do this, 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 and this, because we always used to do it in movement and voice, and I kind of created my own warm-up from there, but other people didn't have that. So I suppose it helped with second and third year as well, but first year was definitely like redoing it, but much more confident and more detailed than what it might have been.
Yeah, I totally agree in the fact that when you said reliving foundation in your first year, especially for the first half, I was like, because I made my own warm-up catered to myself. Like, you take all the things that they teach you and then say, this works for me, this doesn't work for me, and then like put it all into a toolbox that you can work with. And in first year I learned loads of new skills as well to add to it, and I think you are constantly adding to the toolbox. And I was basically reliving it. A lot of the times I feel like first year like flew by so quickly for me, because I felt like a lot more free. I don't know why, but I felt so free because I had already had that past experience to kind of land on and like jump off of. So
yeah, I agree. I wasn't as worried about doing what everyone else was doing and getting it right. I was just doing whatever I felt was was right for me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know a lot of the times, I think actually first year I also noticed a few more things that I would do and be more self-aware about. I think Heather actually told me one thing. She was like, oh, you try to like tick all the boxes, and this is a thing that I constantly have to like not do and like remind myself, like, whatever you do is fine, like whatever you do is you, and you can't be like, oh, is this good, or second guessing or questioning yourself because of what you think the other person wants. Or it's hard because that's all we've kind of known, especially from sixth form in school, that you have to be either right or wrong. Whereas now, after going through the training and everything, and even teaching acting to some people, I've realized like you're not ever going to be wrong, you're just going to be less right, I think.
Or you're just going to be more you. I mean, if everyone did the same thing, it would be dull.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't get any creative ideas. if you're too busy going, oh, but I should do something like that person's doing, rather than just doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
That person might be wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That is so true.
We're always so, education gets you it's very standardized, and it's very one thing and one way only. And so that's probably what foundation got a lot, is to train you out of that mentality.
Yeah, definitely. And some people would thrive from a foundation course, and some people just get into a 3-year acting course straight away. It just depends like who you are as a person and what you kind of need. And a lot of the times the people auditioning you will probably know just from your audition, or just from the way you walk into the room, like what you need, even if you don't think that's what you need.
Yeah, I agree, because I mean, they've seen so many people, and so I think they can recognize. I mean, I was very academic, and it was very much do your exams and do well. And so to come out of that and be like, do whatever you want, I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I feel that. Okay, so what's your favorite thing about your time at Alra?
The people, the cohort, and our tutor Chloe. I miss them and I love them all. Yeah, I think that's definitely it.
That is good. That was what I was gonna say as well.
Yeah.
Definitely the friends you make, the people you meet, the tutors as well, and teachers.
Yep.
That's like the make or break, I think, because think about a 3-year course. You would be with the same group of people. Usually it's about 30 or slightly less, maybe 30 people for 3 years. Every single class, 24/7 with the same people. For us, it was like slightly like a bit more relaxed.
Yeah, it was
but
like what,
still
15 people for 1 year. But that's not a lot of people.
Or was it like 18 at some point, and then it went down a little bit?
Yes, I think some people didn't end up registering for it, and then someone left. So I think it ended up being 15.
Yeah. For a whole year. Oh, and it was like 30 hours a week. Oh, some people live together as well.
So that's a lot of time with a very small group of people. We were just very lucky that we all got along really, really well.
We were so lucky.
Because when I think of like at St. Mary's, obviously it's a bigger scope and there's 3 or 4 cohorts, and for 3 years, obviously. I feel like I'll never get the group I had at Alra again, because we were very, very lucky. Yeah, and it helps that it was small as well.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. I always think that it's so lovely to be able to work with as many people as possible in 3 years. But I also think that when you have like a really tight-knit group for a year at least, or 2 or 3, you really like bond well and know who you work with really well, and build on those relationships a lot more than you would do if you were like scattered all over the place.
Yeah, and you end up being on the same wavelength. So like by the end of the year, when we kind of devised that piece, we were all on the same wavelength with what we wanted to create, how we wanted to create it, what style we wanted. So what we created was more cohesive than maybe if we hadn't spent as much time together. And it's also nice to have people you trust, because you do a lot of stupid stuff. I will never forget when we were having to run and you had to be like, Katy soaring, and people would like pick you up, and you had to be like, Katy falling, and you had to kind of fall. People would have to catch you.
Oh my god.
It was amazing, and it was like a trust bonding thing. But there's a lot of scary things and intimidating things that you do in drama school, that if you aren't close enough with those people, it's really hard to properly commit to those things that are being asked of you, because you need to trust the people around you.
Yeah, definitely. I think trust is a big thing, actually. Especially like the silly things that we do. You do need to build on that trust to be able to fully let yourself do those things, do the activities and the skills. And
even simple things like doing a spine roll with your partner. I have like quite a spiny back, so I'm quite insecure about it. So I wouldn't like anyone just randomly prodding my back. So it's like personal insecurities as well that you have to trust these other people with.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's very intimate in terms of like the movements that we do and the random things that we get told to do and like get taught. Like even in yoga and stuff, or to work with partners, to do mirror exercises and things, you do need a lot of trust in the person you're working with. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Right, what are the top 3 things you wish you knew before going on to the foundation course?
Top 3 things.
Well, you don't have to do 3 if you don't want to or can't think of it.
I wish I knew.
Do you have a moment? Let me think.
Yeah, I've got one. You'll write these down. I'm gonna forget.
Oh, yeah, okay. This could also be about going into first year as well for people, if you want.
I've got 3.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, my first one is about like what we wear, like your blacks, or they're usually blacks. Wear something you're comfortable in, like
Yes,
really comfy in. What I do now is that I wear like tops. They're not too baggy, but they're not clingy, and I tuck them into my joggers, and I wear comfy joggers and comfy shoes, because then when you're doing like spine rolls, your top doesn't just ride right up, and it just makes me feel much more comfortable and confident. And I think when I was doing foundation year, there was this, do we need leotards? What kind of blacks do we need? What clothes are we wearing? When actually I should have just popped to like a cheap shop, got a cheap top, some comfy joggers, and be done with it. And then I think I'd have felt more like, comfy kind of thing. I think it's more about being comfy and confident rather than sticking to the rules. Because I'm very much like, when I got out of sixth form, I was like, what are the rules? They have to do everything like they've said. Screw it, wear something that you're comfortable in.
yeah, I feel the same. Like with the blacks, I think most of my things were comfortable. Like I love a good leggings or like tights with shorts. I love that.
I wasn't, and it was
Or a baggy
always
t-shirt as well.
leggings. And I'm like, you can see your pants through most of the leggings, and I
Hence
was
the
not
shorts.
confident with that. So it's like you've had to wear shorts there, and I'm like, why was I not just wearing really comfortable joggers?
Actually, I think they changed the rules because one of the movement teachers left when like in the middle of our year or like at the start of our year, and they were really stringent on having like tight fitting clothes for movement, especially. Yeah, and leotards.
Which I was not comfortable in.
Yeah, but every school is different as well though, in terms of like what they want for each class. So yeah, I think wear something that makes you confident but also comfortable, but also
for each class you're doing.
Yeah. And bring layers, because some drama schools are freezing.
So cold. Oh my god. Yeah.
Literally. Okay, next one.
I was just gonna say, what's one of yours?
Oh, what's one of mine? I think the top one, I guess, would be you don't have to be liked by everyone, and that's okay. I mean, I don't think I don't think that people have like a specific hatred towards each individual unless you have done something wrong. And so it's okay to not be liked by everyone. Like you're not always going to be someone's cup of tea just because of the way you are and the way other people are, and you can't help that. So don't be a people pleaser and just be you, because you will attract the people that are meant for you, and you'll make friends with whoever is meant to be your friend. And you don't always have to be nice to everyone just so that they like you.
Yeah, I think it comes down to especially because we did sixth form, like when was the last time you had to actually go and make friends? Like And I think people are so used to being kind of people pleasing so that people don't like you that they forget to just be themselves, and people will like you anyway. Obviously, don't be horrid and mean, but also don't try and fit with someone and agree with someone if you disagree with someone just for the sake of, well, they might dislike me if I disagree with them.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add on to that, but like, have your own opinions, and don't just agree or disagree with someone just because you want them to like you, or you want to not be the teacher's pet, but like be the teacher's pet.
Yeah, kind of follow the rules that you've always done in school.
Definitely.
On to you. My next one, I've put go with the flow and the seeming unorganization. I'm very much like routine, and it was hard for me to let go of that to start with. When things change, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't like it, and I'm worried that I'll do it wrong, whatever wrong is. And so I think just go with it, and yeah, it might go wrong, and that's okay. But if things are unorganized or different, doesn't mean it's wrong, it's just different to how you've done it before. Because like we were saying before, like a lot of drama school stuff kind of seems to happen on a whim sometimes. It kind of fits the mood of the day or what you need to work on specifically. And, planned stuff might go out the window to cater for something that you need to do that day. And I think just going along with that and trusting the process, you'll get to where you need to be. And it's all right if you don't get to where you need to be. You've got the rest of your life to do it.
Yeah, definitely trust the process. This is such I'm gonna say it, it's such a wanky saying.
That's a wanky drama school thing.
But it is so true though. Like earlier before, when we said we've had time to process everything because it was a long time ago. I'm old. But we were able to like trust the process, and even if you don't get something straight away, you will get it at some point, or literally months afterwards you could be like, oh, so this is what we learned when we were doing this thing ages ago. So
yeah, that's why we were doing that.
Definitely trust the process, because you can't always absorb everything all at once, can we? My next one, make connections. I think
networking.
Yeah, I think I was oblivious to this, but at the same time sort of did it. Weirdly, I'm very much like interested in people, and I love asking questions and like getting to know people. People say that I am like an extrovert, but kind of introduces themselves first as an introvert, because I'll get out of my shell eventually. But I quite like getting to know a lot of people and just quite curious. And so making connections are super important, especially in the acting industry and production and performance. And so regardless of whether you're like best friends with them or know them through this person and this person, like making connections and just like seeing who you get along with is so important. And I don't think that some drama schools pinpoint that enough.
Yeah, I think they use the whole, you've got to be good at networking. And I'm always like, what does that mean? I think you just have to be yourself and be kind, and you will make contacts naturally. You just will. Work well, work hard, and be friendly.
Actually, don't be forceful about networking and just be like, hey, we need to connect. Come here.
People are like, how do I network? And it's like, no, but it just happens naturally. And I think some people do force this idea of, oh, you have to network without telling anyone how to do it. Just meet people and be yourself and make friends with people.
Yeah. I think for me, it was a lot easier to quite network with people because I lived with people who weren't actually in our year group. So I lived with Lauren and Giselle, who were in the MA courses but at different years, and then I was with Isabel, who was in her first year when I was in foundation. So having those people around me allowed me to like make new friends and kind of reach out to people just from knowing those people, and having to live together with people that you aren't actually in class together is very different to actually being in class and living together, I think.
Yeah.
So I was kind of attached but not attached. But yeah, I think that kind of helped a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, even just knowing you in the year above, where at St. Mary's, means that I met people that other people didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I heard about people. Yeah.
For sure. And it's just those, natural connections, because I actually didn't know who I was going to live with until I actually moved in and on that day met people. So you just never know. Right, on to your next one.
Fine. It's a bit like my first one. It's don't be afraid to get sweaty and don't worry what you look like so much. Because I think there's this idea that everyone at drama school is good looking. They're not. It's fine. People get
You're
sweaty.
beautiful.
It's like everyone's, but I think I was very much like insecure about what I was looking like, and was I too sweaty? Now I'm like, it means I've been working hard or I'm sweaty. I don't care what I look like. And obviously it's not as easy just to go, don't care about what you look like as much, but I think I wish I had known that at the start, like people don't actually care. People aren't looking at you. People are too busy worrying about themselves to worry about other people. Like I wasn't in first year going, oh my gosh, Nicole looks disgusting and sweaty today. Because I was too busy going, what if I look sweaty and horrid? But I wasn't even thinking about anybody else. And I now go, whenever someone's like worried or I feel nervous, I'm like, no one's thinking about you in the nicest way possible. They're too busy worrying about themselves to even look at you. So
that is so true. That's so true.
How I live now. I don't worry as much.
I think also for me personally, I agree with that, but I also think I just accepted the way I look, because everyone is unique, and when you're at drama school, they've obviously picked you for a reason, for your talent, for what maybe what you look like or whatever, but accepting that you have your own unique face and unique figure and everything, I think that's what I kind of took from it as well, because I'd have so many insecurities and things, and then when you're doing headshots and when you're cast in different things, you actually realize like this is what makes me me, and so I've accepted different things about myself, like high cheekbones or like
it's a good
small
thing.
nose or whatever.
It makes you who you are, and that's why they'll hire you.
The sweatiness, 100%, I agree with. I'm such a sweaty person.
Sweaty, yeah.
But like it's natural.
Over the road to uni, and I'll be like, oh my god, I am warm.
Yeah, so toasty, and you are made to run all the time. Walk around in the space. Classic. Walk around the space.
Yeah.
Walk around the space.
Now you're at 10. Everybody run. Everyone run. 5.
That's so true. So I honestly don't think there's any point in like putting on makeup or trying to look good. At least be clean, you know, like have a shower.
Be clean.
Because you're
if you want to put makeup on, you can do it, but bring deodorant.
Yeah, or like for me there was literally no point, because I'd literally just sweat it off or cry it off or whatever. And I'd be like, whatever, it's fine. My last one is just enjoy it. Just enjoy every single part of it, because it actually goes by so quickly. And you just don't realize.
Yeah.
Even like the tough bits, the bits where you think, man, I really don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Just take a moment, take a deep breath in and do it, because the more you get involved, the more you jump into things and say yes, the more you'll learn from it. And I know for me personally, I was quite scared to do certain things, but the more you actually allow yourself to be open to different things, the more you actually take from it and try and enjoy it.
Yeah, it goes so quickly. Thinking that I remember being in first year and you were in second year when the pandemic happened, and we were talking about it, and you were going, oh, I've only got 1 year until I essentially graduate, and I was there going, oh, I'm fine, I don't need to stress, I've got 2 years, and then I graduate in 3 months.
It's crazy. It's actually, it's scary but exciting at the same time, isn't it?
I think just so much happens in that time that it goes really, really quickly. And it's usually because you always have a deadline. Show is in May, show is in December. So you're always working till that point. So it kind of goes much quicker, because then you're like, right, that's done. Next thing. Like as soon as I did the Welkin in December, I was like, next show, go. So yeah, it goes really quickly.
Actually, that's another helpful tip from like working from deadline to deadline or show to show. Like in terms of auditions as well, just focus on the audition, and then once it's done, focus on the next thing and the next thing, because then you're not dwelling on how badly something went, or whether or not you got the audition, or whether that show was good, because you're always focusing on the next thing.
Yeah.
Onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the last and final question. What is the ultimate advice you would give your 17-year-old self, or people going onto a foundation course or first year drama course? The ultimate thing.
Oh my God. I mean, if it was to me, I would tell myself to chill out, take a breath. It's not that deep. Calm down. You're all right. And just go with it, I think. Embrace the instability of it all. Yeah. And just, you know, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Doesn't matter. Nobody else knows what they're doing, so it's fine. Yeah,
that is so true. Nobody else knows what they're doing. You're all in the same boat, so just go with it. That sums up our podcast for today. Thank you guys for listening, or watching if you're watching, and you will hear us next time. But if you enjoyed this, then please give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and you will definitely hear from us soon. And if Katie agrees, we will do another episode at some point.
I'm always down for sitting and talking with you.
Thank you. Love you. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Ba-do-do-do.